To the Tosca testing tool. Tosca testing tool is also an automation testing tool, which is very much similar to Selenium, QTP, whatever the testing tools that we are having. What makes it more efficient and what makes it more powerful is it is not having, it does not require any programming skills from our side. Like even a manual tester who knows the flow in that particular application can start automating the entire application using this tool if he has been given a proper training. And this particular training will not require more than 15 or 20 days. Like he can start automating and he can learn things on his own as well. And the GUI is that friendly that anyone can automate. Okay, you can clearly understand once you start working on it. That is the advanced advantages of this particular tool compared to the others. This is not a free tool that you can get. This is a licensed tool, and only companies like TCS, Infosys, Wipro, Bank of America. There are only some MNCs are only using this particular tool. Okay. And now let me share me my screen. Let me know once you are able to see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Excuse me. Yeah. Usually when you come to automation of an application, like it can be any automation testing that you are doing, there will be two activities that will be done from our side. One is identification and another category is operation. Usually when you take a web page, let me quickly open one web page. Yeah, if you take any web page, it usually consists of various fields in it. Either they can be text fields or some radio buttons. Radio buttons are something like this. You have to select something. There can be drop downs, or there can be some buttons. There can be some hyperlinks. These are different fields that are present in a web page. These are nothing but the elements. Like some people call them as elements, some people call them as objects, and all. Okay, these are the visible controls that you can see in any web page. Along with these visible controls, there are some non-visible controls, invisible controls as well in our web pages. How can you see what is this web page and what are these controls and all this? Every web page will have a DOM structure. DOM structure is nothing but it tells us how these controls are placed in proper order. Suppose I am placing my register, login, shopping cart, and wish list hyperlinks in the top of the web page. Some people may like it, some people may think they can place them over this right hand side corner, or they may want to place it over here. Okay, they can place these buttons anywhere, but where you have to place it and which hierarchy you want to follow, everything can be defined in your DOM structure. If you go to any web page and press on F12 key, you can see the DOM structure of that web page. Okay. If it is having this taglines, it follows these taglines to define things. Like this is the header tagline. So this is the title header demo web shop. Okay. And similarly, this is the body. If I want to see my register, just go click on Control Shift I or inspect, right click on inspect, and you can see register. Okay, it is present in this particular tag. So these li, ul, div, whatever you are seeing here, right, those are the invisible controls. They are also part of this web page, but we cannot see them. Okay, that is how we categorize the controls in a web page. And when I say the all this comes under the identification. Okay, and when I say controls or elements, in Tosca we call them as attributes. These naming conventions are to be followed. Like you have to remember these names and all, and you will get used to them when you start working with Tosca. So these attributes or controls or whatever it is, usually they will be having some properties assigned to them. So what is this identification? Why are you talking about controls and what are these properties? So all this, what happens in identification phase is we will see like what is the control that we want to work upon. Okay, like I want if there is a login screen, what are the controls that I will have? For suppose I may have one column like email ID where I will be entering my email ID address. Similarly, I may have another column saying password where I will be entering our password. And there can be a hyperlink like forgot password where we will be clicking on it, we will be taken to another page. And similarly, we may have sign in button, basic controls that we will have in the login. So if you see, this email ID is a text box, password is a text box, and this is a hyperlink, and this is normal button. These two are text box fields when I am saying, because in these two fields you are entering some data. So what if I ask my system to go and pick up a text box and enter some text in it? How can it how can it understand which text box should I pick up? It will not understand, right? It can either go and pick this one up or it can go and pick this one up. So I have to properly identify my control so that it will go to that specific control. That means I have to uniquely identify my controls. Okay, it should be unique such that it will my tool will go to the proper control. When I am identifying my email ID text box uniquely, obviously it will go to that particular text box only and then it will enter the text. Entering the text is nothing but the operation that we are performing on that particular control. It is nothing but the action that we perform on the control. Okay, so for identifying my controls uniquely, I have to look against the properties of these controls. Okay, what are properties is, for suppose if you are going to a car showroom where we are having all the cars, okay, then if you go and ask them for a car, they will ask you which brand car do you want. Also, what is the seater that you are looking for? How many seats do you need? What is the fuel type that you are looking for, petrol or whatever it is? So these are nothing but the properties of that particular car. Car has its own brand, car has its own fuel type, every car, what is the mileage. So these are the properties. Similarly, the controls that we are talking in a web page, they also got some properties. If you see the register, whatever we are looking for, if you see, it has got a property like class, that is ICO hyphen register. Okay, that is nothing but the class name. So, yeah, let us list out some different types of properties. These properties can be, first thing is ID of that particular control, whether it has got some ID or whatever it is, inner text, class name, what is XPath, okay, and sometimes it would be outer text also. It depends. Like there are these are the different properties that we usually look for. And when you are looking at these properties, we should make sure that these properties should not change over time. What I meant by this statement is, let's go to this register screen. Okay. Now let us look at the properties of this first name field. If you see the properties of the first name field, it belongs to the class text box single line, and the data value required is first name is required, and ID of this particular field is first name, and the name is first name, type is text. Okay, so when I am clicking on register here, if you see that the class name has been changed. See, text box single line, it was single until single line earlier. Now it has been changed to input validation error. Okay, so there are properties which change with the time. Like after clicking on this or after selecting some drop down, the class names might get changed. So we have to look at the properties which are not changing over the period of time, because we cannot every time go and change our code in automation, right? So that is how we identify the elements in a proper and unique way. So once these elements are identified in a proper and unique way, you can do whatever action that you need. For suppose you can click on it, or else you can go and fetch some value from it, or else you can go and wait for some time until this particular button comes shows up. So you can do various actions once the identification is properly done, then you can start doing different operations on it. Now let's see what is this what are the different types of operations and all. Until here, am I clear or am I going too fast or anything? Naveen and Afreen.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
good.
it's clear.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, when I am saying operations, these operations, whatever we performing on the controls, can be divided again. They can be split into two types. Like one can be read operations and another one can be write operations. When I am saying like we have seen, right, for identification, whatever controls or elements, we call them as attributes in Tosca. Similarly, these operations, whatever we are performing, they are called as action modes in Tosca. And these action modes is an important interview question which will be asked in every interview most of the time. They will just simply ask, list out the action modes that are present in Tosca. Okay, and in this action modes, they can be categorized into two types. You need not say this, you can just list out the action modes that are in Tosca. Okay, so yeah, the operations that as we discussed now, we can verify whether our particular field is having some text in it. Okay, same way we can write something, input, and again, what else? We can wait for some time, and here we have insert again. I will tell you the difference between input and input. Okay, and we can store some value from that particular field. This also comes under read, and there is one more feature like constraint. Okay, I'll tell you all this now, and select. Okay. When I say read, it is nothing but just going and reading the whatever value that we need. Okay. When I say write, it needs some input from our side, which it will go and put in that particular field. So when I am listing the read category, I am having these action modes like verify. Verify is nothing but fetch the value and verify whether the required value is there or not. Similarly, when I am saying wait on, what happens is it will wait until that particular button is low. Like when I'm switching between web pages from register screen, I'm going to books. So if I mention weight, for suppose, yeah, if I see this particular button, wait on this button, okay, and I'm in register screen. Now when I am clicking on books, it will wait until this web page gets loaded and until it can see this particular element is visible or not. Okay, visible and exists are also properties. I can list them out. Did not write it. Yeah, visible, exists. These are different properties that you can see when you start with. Yeah, this is nothing but weight on that particular element. And if you see other programming languages, they call them as variables, and where you will be storing your strings or integers, whatever it is, whatever the data type, you will be storing some values into some variables. So in Tosca here, we call them as buffers. Buffers are nothing but where we can store our values. Okay. So buffer is something which is very much similar to variable. You can give a name, like you can say store some this email ID, whatever value I'm inserting, store into some buffer called email ID. When we start working, you can understand what is this buffer and all. And constraint is nothing but, for suppose if you are having a table with 5 rows, so how do you filter out? There must be some unique value which makes the values in the rows of that particular table to filter, right? So this is nothing but constraint. Even this constraint will be useful in tables, Excel sheets, wherever you want to filter it out. Okay. And next is select. Select is nothing but just going and selecting that particular row or field from tables. Okay. And coming to right side, we are having input and insert. Input is nothing but just going and inputting some data from our side. It is nothing but writing. Also the click functionality, like if you want to click on a button, even that can come under the input category only. Click, double click or whatever. Okay. Whereas insert is something which we use in API testing. If you go to API testing, we are not going to use input. We will use insert. API and other non-UI related testings, right? We will be using insert. Whereas input is something where we use for UI testing. That is the difference between them in Tosca. Okay. Until here, I think we are good. So I can show you Tosca. Are you okay, or do you have any questions still here?
Yeah, I'm okay, but have a couple of queries, like basic queries, like you told it's a commercial ware, right? It's not a freeware.
Yes.
Yeah. So after the training, like if we want to install this in a local machine and try to do some
Yes.
practice, so is that possible with the community edition or something like that? Because some of the tools
Yeah.
doesn't allow even that. So yeah.
Actually, that I will tell you. Other than this, do
Okay.
we have any questions?
Uh, then this like yeah, those will be technical, but I can ask you that later when we cover more details. But this is one of the basic things. Uh, so if I'm able to practice on my local machine, it's fine. Because otherwise, it'll be very difficult,
Yes.
right? Even if I complete the
Yes.
course, like there is no point in you know unless I can practice that in office. Yeah,
Yeah. We can do that. I'll show you how. And Afrin,
sure.
are
Yeah,
you good?
thank you.
Do you have any
Yeah,
question?
I'm good.
Okay. Whatever you are asking, you can practice and all, right? All you need to do for the practice thing is just go to this support.tricenters.com. Okay, this is the support portal of the Tricentis people where you can register yourself and you can get an account. Okay, just click on this
Oh,
register button and you have to click on this register again. fill all these details, like give your email ID and all, and then you will get a login account. I already got my login account. Okay, I'll just get into it. Hmm, okay, yeah, I'm trying to open registration page again after logging in. Yeah, this is my account actually, and here you can see this is for the support. Okay, in the same way, there is one more, that is teachable.tricentis.com. Hmm, okay, I can go over there from here as well. Here you can see the courses, okay, in web shop products. These are nothing but the different certifications that Tosca is offering. Right now, Tosca is offering all these certifications for free of cost. Whatever you see, automation specialist, specialist level 2, test design specialist, automation engineer, flow test, and Tosca query language or for SAP, exploratory testing and databases and API. All these they are offering free of cost only because of COVID situation right now. Usually, they earlier they used to offer only AS1, Automation Specialist 1, and Automation Specialist 2 for free of cost. And I completed this Automation Specialist 1, 2, and Q test as well. These two are like once you complete our course, you can just quickly write an exam and complete. Okay. So I recommend everyone to register for all these courses and move them to your bucket. And whenever you are having free time, you can complete these certifications. And these certifications are not some certifications which these are like very valued certifications, I can say. When you put them in your resume or whenever you are grabbing a job in Tosca, the first thing they offer is, are you having any certifications? And even though I have my own personal certification, again whenever I enter any company, they ask us to complete these certifications again on your day one only. Like whatever the company ID they give you, right? They ask you to register with that particular ID, and they will ask you to complete these certifications. Okay, so once
Okay,
you
got it.
register, yeah, once you register for them, I think they, in the same page, whatever it is, we will be having a link for requesting a license also. Okay, so once you request for license, currently earlier it is like only 14-day period of trial license, where it is very like the trial license is also no more different from the license whatever we are using in our offices. Okay, for commercial purposes it is the same. There will not be any
Okay.
difference. Right now they are offering 8 weeks of free license, like where I think you
How
can
many? How many days?
8 weeks you can learn and you
Eight
can
weeks.
practice.
Oh, okay. Oh,
It is
8 weeks. Okay. Okay. Mhm.
it is a good time. And once you are done with your license, you can register as a different user, and if you want, you can take one more and you can learn more. That's all.
Oh, okay. So once your 8 week license expires, you can create one more ID and you can continue using the tool. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes, that's what
Oh, okay.
I'm
Got
doing.
it. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is the teachable.com. Okay.
Mhm.
Whatever we are clicking on that registered courses, right? It will take us to this. And here also, yes, one second. Here you can see the course content, and this portal tells you how to grab the license and all. Okay, this only it's income. Okay. Okay. So usually it will be this account. I can show you later. For now, is this okay? Shall we move?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Usually, when you install Tosca, there are before that, okay, as we already discussed, the advantages of Tosca. This is nothing like it's just scriptless automation is one of the main advantage, and it requires zero programming skills. So that is one advantage. And what else we can say? Friendly GUI, and anyone can easily adopt this, and we can start working very easily. And the reusability of the particular scripts is also very good. Okay. I feel advantages are not something that you will have to read. You will start listing out the advantages once you use the tool. That is what we call advantages. Okay. And let's just see one basic flow so that it will tell you how easy to work with Tosca. Rather than I going explaining you all the things, I'll just show you one basic flow. So it makes us very convenient so that you can understand whether you are good to go with the Tosca or you have to go with some other tool. Usually Tosca has different components installed whenever we are installing it. So we will be the main component where we will be working on is Tosca commander, we call it. Okay. I actually opened my Tosca commander right now. This is the screen I get when I open, and yeah, one second. These are the projects. Projects are nothing but the workspaces. Projects are present in like Tosca also has single user and multi-user workspace to support your projects or teams, whatever check-in, check-out functionality and all. Similar to other tools, whatever we use. We can get, so right now I'm using single user workspace to show you here, and I'm just getting into the project. I'm not showing you how to create project and all right now because I just want to show you the basic functionality, how scanning and all works in this tool. Yeah, and tries in this Tosca people will also give us some defined set of standard modules usually. Okay, whenever we start automating. These are present in our machines when we install. So these modules are nothing but you can understand. See, take screenshot. Suppose if you want to take a screenshot in your test case, you can quickly use this module. Similarly, if you see for like file existence, whether we want to see whether that particular file exists in a folder or not. Copy file, copy and paste the file. You can see the names also. Target directory, target file name, source, if you want to overwrite that particular file or not. So these are all the standard modules that we will be having in Tosca. So we can use them. Okay. For now, for demo purpose, I'll scan and delete my previous thing. Hello, sir. Okay. Yeah, whenever we are deleting anything, it will say it is already used in one step. Do you still want to delete it? Because I used that module in my test case here. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. This Tosca tool has different sections in it. Okay, now I'll show you. Once we create our workspace and once we create our project, this is the main root folder. I created my project with the name demo. Okay, so these are the different sections that are present in Tosca. Actually configurations is nothing but the settings that we want to apply on our execution. Like suppose you created some set of test cases and everything is working fine. Now you want to put it into CI/CD pipelines. Okay, like you want to you automated them. Now you want to run it through the pipeline and get a report. In that time you want that particular whatever you have created, you want it to run in specific machine. So all these configurations whatever I am saying, right, they can be done in this particular section, configuration section. Okay, and next is modules. I'm not going to the flow that is present over here. I'm saying you the actual flow that we will be working in Tosca. The most of the time we will be working on four sections. One is modules, next is test cases, third is test case design, fourth is execution. So modules is nothing but where we scan our elements. It is the identification phase of whatever we discussed here, like identifying the elements uniquely by using their properties. Okay, this complete phase we call it as modules section. And the elements whatever we are scanning, we call them as attributes. This will be done in the modules section of Tosca. And operations whatever we are doing, right, this is nothing but the test cases section of Tosca. And as we discussed, I said you there are two more important sections. One is test case design section and another one is the execution section. Test case design structure is nothing but whenever you are writing some test cases, for suppose your particular web page has so many drop downs in it. So you want to choose different sets of data. You cannot hard code your data over there. So in Selenium, usually they prefer using Excel sheets. Like whatever value they want to select, they will pass it through Excel sheets. So in similar way, Tosca also supports either Excel sheets, okay, or they call it as test sheets. Okay, this the Excel sheets is one feature, and whatever I am saying, test sheets. This comes along with your Tosca tool in your test case design section. Okay, these test sheets are, this is one of the best section in the Tosca. I'll tell you an example. I think it's better I show you. Okay. Let's see. Let's just start working so that we can understand this section. And before that, this execution is nothing but once you complete everything, right, then we will start executing in this execution section through execution list. Nothing, it is nothing but just dragging and dropping our test cases, whatever we have created over here, and placing them in this merge execution section. What happens here is it will start actually having this section has logs in it. Okay, these logs will tell us like when did we run and what happened when we run, whether that particular section has been passed or failed, whether, and we can pull reports against this execution whatever we are executing in this section. And these reports, how these reports have to be configured and all, we can define in this reporting section. Okay, and this is the import section. Whenever we import our previous test cases or and all, and they come under this import section. Actually, I imported my previous demo cases using this import subset. So this section came up. Usually, it will not be there for you. Okay, and next is requirements. Requirements is nothing but where you define your requirements here, and we will have one more section issues. Yeah, it is here. Issues is nothing but you can also create some bugs. Whenever you encounter a defect, you can create the particular defect in issue. We on in our project or whatever real time experience I have, I never used issues section. I never used requirements reporting all this. All I use is configurations, execution, modules, test case, and test case design. Nothing else. And the final one, test planning, is something where you can create sessions to provide estimates and all, like planning whatever we have in our SDLC life cycle, testing life cycle. We have a phase, right? Test planning, test execution, design, and all. So this is nothing but the same test planning section where you will be planning your testing. Okay. These are the different sections that are available in Tosca. Along with that, we have this API testing where we will be doing our API scan and all. So I will show you how do we identify controls and all now. First, before doing that, I want to keep my web page open. Suppose now we don't have our web page open, right? I'll show you how to use standard modules also. In Tosca, one more important thing that I missed out saying is in Tosca, Traxentis Tosca has two different kinds of frameworks. One is T-box framework and another one is classic framework. T-box framework is the latest framework, okay, and earlier it used to be classic. What happens in classic is you will have a concept of engines. It means like for if you are working on Excel, okay, you have to use Excel engine. If you are working on PDF, similarly PDF engine, and if you are working on API, so you used to have different engines and all. And this is very old and it's like almost rolled out. Okay, the latest one is the T-box framework we are calling, and it already has everything integrated into it already internally. Okay, there is nothing like engines, and if you see your standard modules, here you can see, like I'll show you. So the classic modules will also be present. They will be here. Yeah, these are the legacy things. There will be engines like Gupta engine. Yeah, sorry, I'm searching somewhere. Here you can see, right, T-box engines. So these are the different engines like HTML. Okay, same way for JSON and all parameter data. For Excel, it used to be a different one. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so Excel engine, all this. Now we are using this uh, uh, what is it? T-box framework. So in this T-box framework, we are not having all this. Mm, HTML. All we need to do is once we create our modules, this is the standard module that I am using for now. Okay, just drag your module and drop it over here. Okay, and enter the value that you want to enter. And these are the action modes that we are discussing earlier. Input, insert, verify, buffer, wait on, select, constraint. You have to select the proper action mode that you need to do. So now I am asking Tosca, open this particular demo web shop URL. Let's just quickly run it. We are having a feature called Scratchbook in Tosca. It is nothing but temporary thing. It will not store any logs and all. See, it opened a demo web shop URL for me, and I got my results in Scratchbook. Scratchbook results will be deleted in after some time. But usually that is why we prefer executing from execution list once everything is done. For temporary basis, you can use Scratchbook. So I'll show you how you can scan a web page. All you have to do is right click on the folder that you want where you want to scan and just scan application, and Tosca will list out all the web pages or whatever the supported things that are open. You have to choose which one do you want to scan. Now it is saying starting X scan, right? Yeah. This is the web page, this is the notepad. Okay, this is a pic that is open. This is my Outlook. So it is showing us all the screens that are present, right? So this is the one which I want to scan. So I'll just select it and click on this scan. Let us scan the register and this particular top menu, and let us click on this button and let us scan the register screen so that we will understand a basic flow. Okay, and in this scan, when I come over here, all I have to do is click on this select on screen. Okay, just see when I am mouse hovering over here, I can see the button names. All I do is just click on it. Once we are done, click on this back, and if you are having a doubt whether this button is the same one or not, just click on this highlight selection. See, it is highlighting over here. You can see a red color. Okay, this is how, and these are the different properties of this particular element. You see register, these are the representational properties, technical properties. Most of the time we will be looking at technical properties only. Right? Okay, so I can see if it is having a inner text of register. See, if for suppose I am not selecting inner text, then it is the selected item is not unique because it is having only one property selected, which is nothing but tag A. Tag A means it is for hyperlinks. Usually they use tag A for hyperlink. Now tool doesn't understand which hyperlink do you want to select. I want to be more specify which one in again in the tags you have to go for a tag which has inner text as register. So that is how we use. Okay. If I am removing this tag property also, still it is good because it knows like register you inner text is the field that I need to go. Field which is having this particular inner text is the one which I have to go and perform my action upon. So I don't have any issue by removing tag. It depends on me whether I want to include or remove. Same way with the login inner text and tag. If you are not satisfied with the properties that are visible to you here, you can click on load all property, and again you can see some more properties of that. Yeah, see, all visible. The technical properties are increased now. See, even the backgrounds, styles and all they came up. Okay. So these are something. Let me quickly show you this. Yeah, all you do is finish scan. Okay, and close this window. Automatically module will be created for us. See, this is what we scanned. Now I'll show you after clicking on register button we thought of doing this particular functionality, right? So let us scan those fields again. Right click, scan, application. There are different ways here while scanning and while you are identifying that particular button and all. I'm just showing you the basic flow to understand how easy it is to work with Tosca. Okay. Again, once we start learning things in Tosca for more details, you can see, right? There are so many things that you can learn in these screens. Even while doing scan, also there are so many things that you have to learn. Okay, you will get to know them one by one. Same. Select on screen and you can even identify the labels, not only the fields. Once we are done, we have to, okay. Once we are done, we have to click on finish screen. These are the different ways. All I do to create test cases is go to your test case section, right click over here, and there is a blue icon, create test case. Okay, once you create it, you just name something, test or something, and create. Actually, we may not create different test cases, we can use the same one. Yeah, these are nothing but the test steps. Even in manual testing, you will understand, right? All these steps one by one. First, I have to open my URL. After opening my URL, what I need to do? I need to click on the register button. So drag and drop this module. So I have to click on this particular hyperlink. Click. Okay. And the action mode is inside. Okay. After clicking on this hyperlink, before clicking on this hyperlink, I can say one thing like it can wait and see whether this is visible or not. So for that all I need to do is once it is visible, wait on until it is visible. Okay, once it is visible, then I would like to click on it. Okay, so you can either drag and drop the same module. Okay, that is one way. Another way to do is there is something called cardinality. I'll explain this. Okay. What happens when I say cardinality is, see, now this for this register I gave value. Again I got my attribute again. So here I can say for suppose. Now I say exists. I have to wait until this particular button is I want to verify whether this particular button exists or not. See again this register attribute came. Okay, this cardinality tells us like how many times do you want to repeat. This is also one and for sure interview question that comes up. So suppose now I am saying cardinality is 0 to 2. Okay, what happens here is 0 to 2. Okay, now I am saying click on this register button. Next, again click on this register. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, and next thing is once we click on it, we have to go and fill the data in it. Yes. So this is the data. Like I want to click on the all I give, and I want to give even for giving data in this particular registration screen, right? There are different ways. You can send keys or you can directly give some data. Like now I want to give Ramya, okay. And then my last name is Sri, I want to give. Instead of giving directly, I can just go and send keys. Okay, so it will send keys with simulation. Okay, and I want to say for email ID Sri dot Tanya at tosca.com, something like this. And password I want to give as Oreo12, Oreo12, and then click on this register button. Okay, now I did some flow, right? Let's close my Chrome, and here you can mention that it needs to use Chrome as its browser. This is nothing but the configuration parameters again. If you could right click, see create test configuration parameters. All I do is once I am done, go to your test case, run in Scratchbook. There is an F6 shortcut key for that. F6. Yeah. See, it started executing. You can see the execution bar. It opened, it clicked. Now it is filling my data, and you got a green color. Green color is nothing but everything executed perfectly. Data was successful. Verification was successful. In verify, we will get this expected value and the actual value. If you are verifying some values, you will get that particular numbers or in data or whatever. Then, okay, it did all these actions. Perfect. So, is this and do any of you feel that working with this tool is difficult? I don't think, right? Hello?
Yeah, looks good and like kind of easy for me. One question, like, is this tool capable of automating a desktop application or is it just a web?
No, it is for desktop applications as well.
Oh, okay, okay. So that is probably a different component or a module, I guess, right?
Yes, not only desktop applications. It supports Salesforce applications, SAP applications, and much more.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, okay, okay. Mm. And what about for web application? Is there a browser limitation like it supports only Chrome, or does it support other browsers available in the market like IE,
Yes,
Edge, Firefox, and
yes, it supports everything. All you need to specify here, all you need to do is specify here, and that's all. For Chrome and all, it needs some add-on to be installed, but nothing
oh,
else.
okay,
It's like only one time we do it when we are installing. That's all.
oh, okay, okay. So for Chrome, only for Chrome, add-in is required, right?
Yeah, for Chrome and Firefox, I think. The default it would be IE
Oh, okay,
only. You need not bother.
oh, okay. Mm-hmm. And is there a compatibility issue like usually I heard that um, Selenium is not actually recommended for Angular based web applications. So is there a kind of dependency for this tool or any Java or Angular? It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter for us. I'm currently automating
Okay.
Angular 9.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's good. Okay. And what about you? You showed one module called issues, right? So, uh, does this support integration with Jira or ALM?
Yeah, it supports integration, but as till
Mm.
now, wherever I'm working, right, we are using ALM only. We are not integrating anything, and we are actually normally going over there and logging the defects. I never worked on that
Okay.
module, but I heard it
Oh, okay.
supports.
Okay.
And whenever
Oh,
you are
okay.
writing
Okay.
Qtest certification, it helps you
Mm-hmm.
how to integrate with Jenkins and all. It teaches you that Qtest certification.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. 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 Got it. So, for this training, will you be covering both web and desktop-based automation, API, and database, I guess, right?
Yes.
Okay. 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 And what
Yeah.
about the CI/CD pipeline? What is the tech stack you are using for CI/CD, like Azure or some other?
See, actually, I usually we are automation testers, right? All we do is
Yeah.
we will just configure our things from our side, and then there will be a unique key that we will be generating over here once everything is done.
Mm.
Okay, all we they ask us to do is give that particular unique key to the people who are working at the pipeline end.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so they will be placing it in the XML and they will be running it. We are not bothered for that. All we do is this configurations and just give them the key. That's it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Got it. Yeah, I'm good.